What's up everybody? I'm here in the Bukchon Hanok village area, and today I'll be walking through this neighborhood where you have these very traditional Korean buildings, the Hanok, and introducing to you what the beauty of Hanok is all about and how practical they are. So just follow along with the map, and this is a very popular tourist destination here in Korea, so you may want to take heed. But I'll be going through this sort of slower neighborhood here, as well as explore some of the more touristy areas, and you'll get a nice overview of Gyeongbokgung Palace as well. Okay, so right now I'm here at Anguk Station, exit 3. It's quite easy to get to here. And as you can see, there's just a lot of people right now. It's currently 4:42. First place I'm supposed to be headed to here is the cultural center. Let's see, I believe it's coming up. But basically, Hanoks are traditional Korean homes that were developed hundreds of years ago towards the Joseon dynasty. And they're characterized by these iconic clay tiles here. And these clay tiles are called kiwa. And Hanoks are also known to be the earliest, and some even claim the only floor heated home systems in the world. And oh, here it is. It's a traditional cultural center. And another thing that they're characterized by is this clay wall here. Although I believe this, oh, yeah, I do think that is a clay wall. Sometimes they use cement, but it wouldn't be authentic if it wasn't. All right, let me go ahead and sign in here. Okay, so it's completely free to enter there. Fortunately, it's a bit of a bummer because I can't film it for you guys. But you get to see just a Hanok house and how it's set up. You could look at all the things I'll be talking about in more detail. But basically, yeah, Hanok has been around for centuries. And recently, there's sort of like a movement to appreciate these again. Unfortunately, when Korea was urbanizing, the Koreans sort of prefer like the newest and best, and they sort of demolished a lot of these and didn't preserve them too well. But this area is one of the few areas where the Hanok is preserved. And the Hanoks here in Seoul are characterized to be Hanoks in the northern region. So you'll see that the Hanok is built around the needs of the Korean people. And one thing about Korea is that it's quite humid, and it's also very hot in the summer, and it's also very cold in the winter. So you have these very extreme weathers from winter to summer, as well as the issue of humidity. Hanok basically is a house that breathes, they will say. The reason for that is a couple reasons. Hold on, I didn't plan on going here, but I'll detour a little bit because it looks pretty cool. Okay, there is a Hanok right here. It breeds because, number one, they have the clay walls. So Hwangto, which actually somebody was correcting me on this and they said it's yellow clay. Hwang is, I think it literally translates into gold, like hwangum. But they're referring to the red clay that's here in Korea. So this red clay that they use for the walls, it regulates the humidity. Not only that, but although like the modern Hanoks, they've sort of renovated them to include glass elements, they are traditionally hanji, as you can see. And hanji is made out of mulberry pulp. So it's a really thick type of paper. It's not your standard paper. But just like any paper, there is a bit of a draft. So you basically have it airing out. Oh my gosh, I think I'm ending up in a dead end. Okay, that was a good detour though, because this showed some Hanoks. So because there is a draft, it breathes. There is no need for you to open up the windows per se to have a good air circulation. So you know how a lot of people complain, and there's statistics that show that air quality inside, like an apartment, your home, is usually like significantly worse than the air quality outside, even though you're living in a polluted city, unless of course you like have an air purifier, because it's staying stale. It resolves a lot of those issues. So that's why Hanok breeds. Now, a lot of like the thing that I was concerned about is, what the heck, you're using paper for the walls. I mean, how is this gonna, oh, look at all these cool crafts though. But how are you gonna regulate the temperature in the extreme cold? A lot of these Hanoks, first of all, they utilize two doors. So there is still like an air pocket that regulates a lot of the coldness from the outside. And people who live in Hanoks say, surprisingly, it regulates the cold temperature quite well. You know, it looks like it's gonna be cold, but it isn't. So they usually have like a sliding door inside and a regular standard opening kind of door on the outside. So you still have the two layers to keep it warm. Now, the thing about Hanoks that I sort of mentioned in the beginning that is iconic though is it has a flooring heating system. So I'm gonna explain that in more detail, but basically you have like warm, I believe it's far infrared ray heat coming from the ground up because of the clay that literally penetrates your skin instead of just like a surface kind of heat. And you have a little bit of that coolness up top because of the slight draft that's caused by the paper walls. So that's basically what they say is gonna actually be healthier when you have the coldness like up top, but then heat down below. It has in Eastern medicine that's considered quite healthy to have the two temperatures inside. Now the other thing is the paper. While I was doing research, I found out that they coat it so that it's actually relatively waterproof as well. So that is, I mean, you would just have to live in one and stay in one, and there's plenty of experiences here if you're interested. And everybody tells me that it's surprisingly quite warm. Wow, this area has a lot of cool artsy places, by the way. I know tourism sort of is dead because of the situation we got, but man, I certainly hope these places stay in business for when Korea does open back up again. Little side note, Korea will be going into sort of living with the situation kind of deal in November, and they've already made quarantine-free sort of deals with Singapore, and more to come. So tourism will be back. Anyway, this is really cool. This is a definite local neighborhood. As you can see, some of these were Hanoks before. You can see based on the tiles, but they did convert it into the walls into these red bricks, etc. So there's like a little bit of both. This is like a real authentic neighborhood, but you'll get to an area where it's way more Hanok-ish. So just bear with me while I talk about the Hanok and introduce to you guys Hanok. Now, the other thing you may have noticed is that Hanoks are shaped differently depending on the region you're in. So the northern regions are significantly colder than the southern regions of Korea. So basically, what you have to deal with those issues is Hanoks in the north, they're going to be square shaped. So it's square all around, and inside there's usually a courtyard. And what that does is it prevents like the wind, the draft from the courtyard area. So you still have a very functional courtyard area where the family can gather and still enjoy themselves, etc. In the cold winter-ish months. But that's what you'll see. It's shaped like a square. Whereas in the southern regions, it will either be a straight line or usually like in an L shape. That's because it's less colder down there in the south. And that is more beneficial to as far as making it cool. I'll go into the details of the science behind why Hanoks are also very cool in the summer. But for now, well, check out this neighborhood. I'm not gonna head over there, but I just wanna give you guys a little ambiance of what it is like in this neighborhood. And to think, back in the days, it wasn't desirable to be in these old school traditional Hanoks. You know, Koreans really love embracing the new. They're able to really quickly adopt new things. But I think lately they're realizing just how they're appreciating more sort of the old. Now this right here is not really a traditional Hanok. A traditional Hanok isn't 2 stories high. And you can see that it's mainly all made out of wood there. So a lot of cafes and such like that around here that incorporate the Hanok design, because, I mean, come on guys, isn't this beautiful? It's beautiful, right? I think it's iconic. I don't know anywhere else where things look like this. I would say, you know, Chinese architecture comes close, but it's just that blend. I think it's like the perfect blend. Japanese architecture is really simple. I like it. It's aesthetically pleasing as well. Chinese is probably a bit more intricate, like a lot of paintings and engravings, but Hanok is like somewhere in between. It is not all completely symmetrical like Japanese architecture. It has a bit of character, sort of like the Chinese, but at the same time it has the simplicity. Usually black, white, and wooden elements. So I think it's like a perfect blend. So anyways, yeah, aesthetically it's pleasing as well. But let's go on to some of the other things you may have not known about Hanok. Now, the other thing is, Hanok is considered one of the most eco-friendly homes. Everything that they use in there is made of recyclable, natural ingredients that you just find everywhere around you. There is not even a percentage of steel that is used. There is no nails. You know, people think, oh, only the Amish know how to make buildings without nails, but nope, Koreans have been doing it for centuries, guys. Oh, look at this. This is, oh, this must be I know that there's like a lot of artistic areas. Ah, okay. So here you go. Demonstrated. This is sort of, is not completely square, but you can see it has like a U shape here. Definitely protects from the draft. Look, this is a traditional Korean game. I know everyone's like crazy about Squid Games. They could totally do Squid Games Part 2 and 3 with just the sheer amount of games that you guys haven't seen yet that Koreans play. I remember playing that. That's Korean hopscotch, by the way. It's a bit more complicated than American hopscotch, as you can see. Oh wow, this is such an amazing view right here. Just the roofs here, just the asymmetrical. That's just amazing. Yeah, but everything is all natural, guys. So wood, it's recyclable, mulberry pulp. The coating on here is also natural as well. Just want you guys to notice. It's really, really tough, by the way. How do I, it's even tougher than wax paper. Americans sort of know wax paper, like cookie paper. Imagine that times maybe five times as strong. That's how hanji is. And it's also repairable. Like, let's say there's holes or whatever, you just put glue and then you just put another patch over it. That's what you do. So everything is really easily repairable. Now this one I think is, this must, oh wait, it is. So this isn't cement, although who knows, maybe they use cement because nowadays they're just sometimes they're just making it a shape, but traditionally this is done with red clay, so it breathes. So all of that, it's all natural, and all these wooden beams and such, it's all joined without any kind of nails. So although Korea there aren't earthquakes and stuff, if that was to happen, y'all know the science behind that. You probably heard Japanese don't like to use nails as well because those are stress points. And oh, you know what, hold on guys, this wasn't in my path either, but now I'm pretty sure all of this, it's recently been incorporated. This isn't very traditional to be laying these kinds of tiles on here, I imagine. But it does have like that aesthetic, the sort of Chinese aesthetic, right? Chinese, East Asian aesthetic. But I believe the reason why this is probably critical now and you can't just keep it the old school traditional red clay would be Hwangto, is because this is a very popular tourist area, and I imagine people taking pictures, laying up against it, that's gonna degrade it. So they've done this. Oh, So a lot of these places, by the way, guys, are guest houses. So if you're interested in staying in one and experiencing it for yourself, definitely give it a try. Wow, it's just, I really love it. Ah, this seems like this was probably put up like in the 80s or something. They got like the fences. But inside it's all relative. Oh, this one definitely is red clay, you can tell. Hwangto. See? Yeah. Ah. All right. So real people live in here. I'm trying to be extra not as loud, although right here they're doing some kind of construction. Interesting. Let me try to avoid this. 수고하세요. They're reworking the pavement here. Oh, okay. Looks like electrical lines. Nice. Oh. Okay, so I also want to mention, notice how they have a lot of these windows. The positioning of the windows in the Hanok, there is a sort of science to this. I'm not going to be as great at explaining it, but I will reference like a very good video I got a lot of this information from on YouTube. If you search Korean Hanok or Hanok, you should see a video by KBS, which is like one of the major networks out here. And they did a documentary on it. But generally Hanoks, the positioning is very important. Generally you want the back of your house facing the mountain, and then the front of your house facing the river. Not only is it just practical as far as what happens, like they say that in the summer, the breeze comes towards the mountain, the cool breeze, so it goes through your front door, and in the winter, the back protects the draft from the cold air coming down from the mountain. So that's one of the reasons they do that. I really got to say I like this. Look at that. Amazing. All right, let's see. I probably need to, by the way, go somewhere else. Okay, let me just double check the map here. I'm going into the more traditional Hanok area. This is sort of the main street here. Just want to say further down there is like an information booth, the Chaegidong information booth. All right, so this is the more touristy area that's by the palace. All right. Oh, another thing that is very interesting about Korean culture, unique, is this hanbok, by the way. Lots of places to rent it. You can rent it for like a couple hours or something. And yeah, enjoy. Taking pictures here. And another little fun fact is that if you wear hanbok, you get to enter the palaces. And there's two really famous ones near here. The Gyeongbokgung Palace, Changdeokgung Palace, the must-visit palaces. And you get free entrances if you wear hanbok. So another reason you should wear hanbok. And take pictures next to these traditional houses as well. Me and my girlfriend, we took pictures a while ago. So I'm not going to stop and take too many pictures. Yeah, but look at that, guys. Amazing. I love this place. Oh, look at that, look at that. There's so many like nice little alleys for you to take pictures. You see? Oh. All right. Okay, so I gotta talk in a more classroom voice now. Now, as far as like the way that it's set up, when the wind blows in, they can open up these doorways in the squarish areas, and then what it does is it funnels the air into the center. So like in the summer, just because of the physics, they could create like sort of like a war. I don't know the technical term, but basically the swirling circulation of the air in the center of the courtyard for the squarish ones for the summer. So it's actually very cool in the center. Whereas in the winter, they could just close off all the doors and the windows, as you can see, and it would keep the center very, very draft free. I believe I'm a bit lost now. Let me double check where I am. It must be here. What? It can't be. I'm gonna keep walking this way, I'm sorry. Okay. Alrighty. I think I know where I am. Okay, this is particularly where you get into the ritzy neighborhood. The people from the city will remind you to stay quiet. That's what these people are doing. Okay, this is literally the most iconic photo op opportunity here. Remember this location, guys. And you want to take a picture from up top, looking down. And if you do have a zoom lens, I recommend that you bring it. And I'll show you why once I go up there. It's the first time I actually walked upwards here. But this is a nice shot too, looking up. See all these Hanoks? Now let's see, before I start talking about the really intricate ondol system, the heating system, is there anything else I forgot? Let me look at my notes. Red clay, thick and durable, open on the outside, dispersing. Okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to say, as far as the southern area where they have like the square, the straight line, or the L-shaped Hanoks, southern area is very hot, right? So I remember learning about homes like that the early settlers in America used to build, and it uses the same concept. When you have like a square shape, a straight line building, and the wind is coming at it, and you create a little opening in the center, that's where all the wind gets funneled. So that's where they would just chill, right, in the summer, and you just get a natural breeze, a nice funnel. Like even right now, I'm feeling a nice little breeze right here, because all the wind is funneled down this area right here, right? By the way, this is the shot that you need to take. I know a lot of famous vloggers who have taken pictures right here. Does this seem familiar? See how if you zoom in, you're gonna get the background a lot bigger. So all those modern buildings in the back. Over there is Namsan Tower, a very iconic tower. I'm sure you guys are aware, if you know Korea, that's where you go and do the love blocks. So you got all that juxtaposed against this Hanok. And you could be standing right there. So yeah, I mean, before I came here a lot of times, mainly just to wear hanbok and just take nice pictures. But it's been really nice learning about the science behind these Hanoks, because now I sort of want to get one myself, like in the south, and renovate it. But yes, okay. Moving on to the ondol system, guys. The ondol system is not, like, as you could probably guess, the ondol system basically, there's a furnace down below, and you light a fire, and then the air circulates around and heats up the floor, right? You could probably assume about that much, right? You can guess. Now, the thing that I sort of learned is that there's a lot more than that, you know? Otherwise, I mean, you just do it, you would have to constantly light a fire, right? And it's just gonna get cold if you're not lighting up fires. Now, in the documentary I read, like, the master Hanok guy, he claimed operating the furnace once should create enough warmth to last 5 days. I'm like, okay, that seems like a really high, like, you know, I've been in Hanoks. Yeah, I know that it lasts long, but 5 days, I mean, I'm sure there's a little bit of lingering heat possibly, who knows. But that's what he claims. But later on in the interview, there's this one American dude, and he fell in love with Hanoks when he came here as a Peace Corps volunteer. And he bought one, and he would say, in his, like, experience, he would light one, like, he got an old one, and it seemed like he kept it in good condition. He would light like 3 or 4 pieces of wood, and it would stay warm for 30 hours. It's like a thermos, guys. It's like the thermos of heating systems. Now, the way that's done is, first of all, stupid me, I just thought, okay, if you light the fire here, it's just gonna circulate like this in one direction. But no. First of all, I noticed that the design is they start in the center, you light it up there, and then it circulates outward, right? And it sort of starts in the center. So I thought the furnace, it would be like sort of in the end, but if it's in the end, obviously you can't circle back out like this, you know what I mean? So it's sort of in the center. So I noticed even this American dude that has his home, he would open up the flooring and then light the furnace there from inside his Hanok. So you're not like going outside to light it. But I mean, that's like, I've also seen ones where they light it from outside. So I'm sure there's different designs. But the ones that are optimal start where you light the furnace in the center and it circulates outward. So that's why the highest concentration of heat is in the center, and that's retained. And then what they do as far as the little air ventilation area that they have. Oh my gosh, okay. Man, I don't know how these people drive through these old streets. I would scratch up my car so bad. Where am I? Okay, I think I'm actually gonna go down here. The little air funnels that it circulates around, it's first of all laid with hwangto bricks, red clay bricks, because the clay bricks retain the heat, right? And then what they do inside there is quite amazing. I didn't know this, but they put red clay pots and they bury it into different areas of the little air chamber. And what they say happens is a lot of the heat gets concentrated into these little holes that are created with the red clay pots being buried in there. And then it regulates like the humidity. So it has a lot to do with how the condensation works and the decondensation, because if there's too much humidity, it's gonna become cold, right? And then so it does something to retain like the heat and the condensation. I'm probably not explaining this the best I could, but they say it sucks out the moisture from the air ducts and maintains the humidity at optimal levels. That's the note I have. They also, I didn't know this as well, but they also lay about, oh, look at this, look at this. Sorry guys if my videography isn't as good because I'm focusing on looking at my notes to try to be informative about Hanoks. But I also plan on coming back to this area with somebody. Maybe when the tourists are back here more and it's a bit more lively and things are more open, to show you like the more touristy areas that I'm sort of going towards. Because this is also just a chill area too. A hip area, a hipster area to enjoy as well. If you remember me and my girlfriend, what? They took out the bench. Are you kidding me? And I also came here and I lost all the footage, but I also came here about a week ago, and they had the bench right here at least. Oh, okay, never mind. They still have this, so there's still a bench for you to sit. But there was also a bench right here. And then we were drinking soju and just, you know, eating snacks, me and Mayu, because we just thought it'd be cool to just eat outside at night. But it's a really cool neighborhood. Yeah, Ceramics Art Center. Oh, interesting. You can do hand paintings. Like there's a lot of things you can do here. I'll show you a little bit inside. I like it, I like it. I mean, just picture yourself coming out here, even if you're not really interested in the technical aspects of the Hanok, just enjoying the beauty of it with your girlfriend, taking a stroll. You'll definitely score some points with her, that's for sure. Just you know, bring your A game as far as your Insta hubby or Insta boyfriend, you know, whatever. That's what the girls say. I need an Insta hubby. Oh wow, the sun is about to set right now, so yeah, the lighting is not that great. Well, it is great, but I'm just pointing it at the sun, so I hope I'm getting all this. But okay, we're almost towards the end, so let me start explaining more. So in the bottom of these little air ducts, they have 3 centimeters thick of salt that they pour. And apparently the salt also helps with, you know, sucking out the humidity from the air. But after a while, 1 centimeter melts eventually. And that 1 centimeter coats the bottom of the floor. And that helps with like the coldness that comes up from the ground, right? That somehow insulates it. And I was just like, what? Like, I don't realize that there was so much that goes into this Hanok. I thought it was a bit more simpler than that. But look at these rooftop cafes, guys. I know this isn't Hanok, but since I'm already here, I wanna let you guys know this is a really cool spot to chill. And then bring along a friend like Ethan that can like talk for an hour and give you nice little random facts, you know, and entertain you. Maybe I should do like a tour. Like I should charge for a tour, you know. Probably make more money than doing YouTube, so. Anyways, okay. So, now, the other interesting thing about this, okay, aside from the salt as well, the tiles that they use on top, because that's where basically heat is coming up at you, right? I was pretty impressed. So there's 2 types of tiles that are used. In the center, they use basalt tiles. Basalt, I don't know, it's spelled B-A-S-A-L-T tiles. Basalt? Basalt. Let me know what the correct pronunciation for that is. It sounds Mediterranean. But those tiles are baked at like 1,000 degrees. So it's able to withstand 1,000 degrees of degrees Celsius, but I think that it's the same, right? Fahrenheit, Celsius, probably the same. It's just Fahrenheit, they start at a different point. Celsius, they start at freezing, right? 0. Anyways, 1,000 degrees. It's able to withstand 1,000 degrees of heat. So that's placed in the center where it's really hot, right? So that's why these Hanoks, they can last for centuries. A lot of these tiles are centuries old, guys. It's from Joseon Dynasty era. I swore I wrote down the notes on that, but it's a couple hundred years old, right? At least. I want to say it's 14th century, but I would have to double check on that. I don't know why the notes are not here, but Joseon Dynasty. So anyways, and the sides, they use granite, where the heat would be less than like 350 degrees. And the reason why they do that is granite is a better heat conductor. So it's able to make it hotter with less heat. So that creates sort of like an even heating experience throughout the whole surface, right? So, wow, I'm like, there's a lot of science that went behind this. I was really impressed. I don't know. I'm sort of a dork, so I'm interested in this. Let me know if it's interesting or if I'm just like rambling about BS, you know? Then I'll try to keep it less factual next time and just go to the oohs and ahs. Oh, that looks so pretty. But I'm a guy, so I like to mansplain a bit. Okay, so next thing. So they have different tiles. And these tiles are placed with such intricacy. I was watching this documentary, and the master Hanok maker guy, he's really old. But then even his apprentices are really old. They look older than my father. They're like in their 50s and 60s, you know, so they've been doing it for a while. But he couldn't lay down those corner tiles because only the master can do it. He says if it's not placed exactly right, there's gonna be heat that leaks out, and it's gonna basically eliminate the all the hard work they did. You know, so it's placed with such intricacy. I'm telling you guys, it's like a thermos. I swear. Oh, I always hear piano from this place. Now I find out it's a piano place. Mozart piano tutoring place. Okay, so I think I will detour. I sort of know what's over there. I think you can go down here. Oh, by the way, I didn't explain. So as far as the air duct, I'm going to backtrack to the air duct. It starts from the center and it goes up, right? And what happens is there's like a little lip on the top, a small lip. It elevates, there's a little lip, and then it goes into a larger chamber. And then like while it circulates, it goes upwards. So it's, heat rises, right? Basic physics. So it goes up, around, that's how it goes up. And the very end, there's a chimney. So they say the heat gets like sucked into that chamber because of that, right? Not like this kind of chimney. That's what triggered me to remember it. This really iconic looking chimney right here. I thought this was sort of like a bathhouse, but maybe it's a bathhouse that's converted to a guest house now. Well, that's what it is. So yeah, just a little backtrack there as far as letting you know that. Now back to all this. So after they place these tiles, it's not straight, putting on the flooring yet. Over that, I noticed they put sort of like red clay soil. And then they put gravel as well, little rocks. And then they cover it with cypress leaves. It's not like, it's sort of like this. Maybe it is like this, but it's like green cypress leaves. That's why it smells so good. Not only is it the red clay, but the cypress leaves. They must be doing some other construction here. They're constantly renovating this place. Every time I come here, it looks better. Let me just tell you that. And then after that, they put clay plaster over it. So they mix all those little elements on top of the tile, and then they put a clay plaster on top of that. And that is like the final flooring area that you're like literally sitting on. So all of this is what creates that far infrared ray. You physics guys, let me know what far infrared is. I'm not too, like, now it's getting into like intermediate physics, not physics 101, physics like 201. So all you have to know, I guess, sort of like what I know, is far infrareds are different than just simply heat that is emitted from like water. Like regular heat that you sort of experience by like literally standing next to a fire with, you know, the moisture in the air warming up and then it contacting your skin, is a bit different because first of all, it makes it humid, like not humid. It like the opposite of humid. It like literally burns all the moisture around it. And then when it touches you, it's very dry, right? So your skin cracks. And it's just like sizzling hot because it's burning the surface of your skin, right? Whereas the heat that's emitted from the Hanok is far infrared rays, which penetrate deep into your body so that it retains, your body not only retains the heat, but the Hanok itself, the flooring, you know, all these layers and layers of things that I just talked to you about, the basalt tires, the granite, the extra layer of red clay soil with gravel, with the cypress leaves and another layer of paste, all that. The whole floor retains a lot of that heat. If you just want, if you can't afford to stay in a Hanok or whatever, you don't have that much time, you come to Korea, you'll notice Koreans serve like hot soups in a stone clay pot. Like just order one of those and you'll just realize, oh, it is a bit different when you serve, like when heat is retained in a stone clay pot as opposed to if you just serve it out on steel. Like if it's steel or iron, the heat just dissipates faster and it cools. That's why Koreans serve like hot soups in stone clay pots, because it will stay warm. Like Koreans love their things like sizzling hot, right? So sometimes I wish they served it to me in a steel pot because I like it to cool down a bit before I eat. By the way, I just sort of circled around. That is the area I would have came if I didn't do the detour. So yeah, it's not as simple as just stone clay pot. Now you're adding additional layers such as basalt tiles, granite tiles, cypress leaves, etc. So that's why they claim once you operate the furnace, it seems simple, like you just burn like 4 logs or whatever. It retains this warm infrared emitting heat on the flooring of the Hanok for 30 hours. If you believe this master Hanok maker, he says 30 hours, but I don't know, that's a bit too much. Oh, this place is cool. This isn't a Hanok, but another important cultural aspect of Korea, drinking. I love it. And then this place that has tteokbokki, I love this place. So I ate at both of these places. Oh man, it smells so good. But I gotta meet up with somebody else. We're doing another video on another cultural aspect of Korea, K-pop, because apparently it's one of the BTS guys' birthday today, Jimin. Man, I don't know any of this. I didn't even know they had 7 group members, but I researched. But anyways, yeah, stay tuned for that video. That may or may not come out before or after this, but it'll come out. And all right, back to all of this. Why is far infrared rays important to you, and why is it healthy? Well, if your whole body is warmed up, it helps your metabolism. I mean, of course, it also helps your skin because you're not like drying it out with direct heat. And that's why, you know, like Korean women love Hanok because they understand the beauty secret of this. It doesn't like dehydrate and dry up their skin so they can stay looking younger for longer. But it also just feels good. So everybody who claims to have stayed over in a Hanok, a Korean traditional house, say they just feel so refreshed in the morning, whether it be the winter or whether it be in the summer. And it's just in the summer, it's not too hot, and in the winter, it's not too cold, and everything just feels very natural. So not only it's very natural in many different ways, as you can see, and it's also, you could describe it as breathable in many different aspects. So that's why I sort of had to explain all that, because I've heard, oh, Hanoks are just eco-friendly, it's good for your health, it's breathable, you know, 숨을 쉬어, like as Koreans would say. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, yeah, of course it's gonna breathe because, you know, it's got like paper for doors. But more and more I find out about this, and I'm like, oh wow, now I sort of want to buy my own little old Hanok, like somewhere in the south. I actually saw one. They're selling for like $30,000. I'm like, by the beach. I'm like, oh, now I sort of want to get one, you know, if I had the money. Anyways, now, by the way, I'm getting into the more touristy areas. Oh, I didn't point out, but to the right-hand side, you might have seen like a really tall tower. That's Gyeongbokgung Palace, by the way, guys. Oh, I need to be in Hongdae by 6 o'clock, so. But yeah, if you head over to the right, there is a Gyeongbokgung Palace. I'll probably do a walking video of that and then cover this area a little bit more in another opportunity, but I really wanted to introduce the cultural aspect of Hanok to you and show you in a little bit more detail this Bukchon Hanok village area. I have to say I was really impressed researching about Hanoks, and now I like sort of want a Hanok. I can see why like Hanok is crazed over now. So yeah, even if it's not a Hanok, a lot of people that came to like the Pyeongchang Olympics, you know, the athletes, they experience just ondol. Like Koreans now, they don't use like traditional Hanok, but even the apartments, they use floor heated systems. They have like electric ones, coils that they use that you could just literally plug. I know my Canadian friends were talking about, you know, figuring out how they could import that, because even like just modern electrical heating systems, it's very advanced here in Korea. But Koreans also like their water boiler. Basically, it's like a coil on the ground, right? And they heat it up. And then not only does it heat up the water, but it also heats up the ground as well. Like, there's all these different heating systems. And once you realize just how it makes sense science-wise, instead of just, I don't know, it is a bit, like, I think, like, Western world is pretty way behind on this. It's like caveman stuff. Like, they haven't developed heating systems anymore since then. You just light a fire and you stand in front of it, you know? Just direct heat. But y'all know heat rises, right? So when you're putting heat on the bottom and retain the heat right on the floor level, and then, oh, look at this dude. Then this is how you look. You're like all chill on this floor, like oh, this is such a nice feeling. Yeah. Don't bite me. Oh, he's like, you don't have anything for me to eat. Yeah, maybe you become a little entitled like this. Oh, you know. Well, that's I'm taking it for granted, but I've been living in Korea for about 2 years now, and as long as you're not going out, the winters are really bearable because they have the most advanced heating systems in the world. They have in the past, and they currently do right now. So a lot of this science boils over from the knowledge and wisdom of the Korean ancestors. That's what Koreans like say, you know? But it's still true. There's a lot of this knowledge that they're aware of. I mean, when they buy houses, a lot of these concepts still exist. They want to have south-facing homes, just like because that's where because it's the northern hemisphere in the south, the sun is there and it maintains the heat in the front area. So even apartments incorporate all these knowledges that have been acquired from the ancestors that have learned to deal with all the elements out here. So it's not as bad as you think. So a lot of people ask me, like when I'm in Bangkok, how do you deal with the heat? And I'm like, dude, you're gonna be freezing most of the time because there's so much AC. They're blasting AC all the time. Heat isn't an issue. It's sort of like the same issue out here. Like, how do you deal with the frigid cold? It's usually not an issue because it's well heated. You know, like Koreans really know how to heat up the place. So yeah, I hope that sort of gave you a little bit more insight onto it. You know, feel free to comment if I didn't say something right, but I did my best to research all this. I'm quoting literally things I've researched yesterday, and then so that's to the best of my knowledge. Now there's a lot more science to all this, what they do. There's like symbolisms for what they do here, like how they make it. I'm sure there's a science to the way that they lay out the tiles. Notice how it's designed where the weathering, the water, it won't go inside. Why do they have these shapes? It's not just for simply aesthetic reasons, although it is aesthetically pleasing. Koreans are, you know, you guys know, Koreans are all about aesthetically pleasing, but they're also about practicality and functionality. And Hanoks aren't the only traditional Korean houses now. There's other houses that have a lot of the similar elements of Hanoks, such as like the clay tile, the clay walls, and even ondol, and you know, wooden beams, etc. But the poor people couldn't afford like the clay tile roofs, the kiwas, like you see out here, like the city folks could. So they did it with straw thatched roofs. And like in areas like Jeju-do where it's really windy, they even like throw ropes over it with weights to, you know, keep those straw roofs from flying away. I just learned that yesterday as well. So there's lots of, you know, traditional houses in Korea as well. But I hope this sort of gave a little bit more insight, and you can see that it's not only just aesthetically pleasing, but there's a lot of science behind all this. Even the shape of the roof, how they have the raised roof, etc. There's a science to all that. I didn't go into the details of it, but yeah, just the basic info. And I also hope you guys, when you do come out here to Korea, come out to Bukchon Hanok Mall. A lot of people just go to the Gyeongbokgung Palace out here and then call it a day. But definitely, you know, save some time to explore this area. As you can see, I didn't even like stop inside and like check out the stores and stuff. But I'm already running over time. I'm like almost going at almost an hour and a half. I wanted to do this, I believe it was almost 3 kilometers that I'm walking. I wanted to do this in 1 hour, but just walking through it, taking a lot of time. So be prepared for that. When you're renting the hanbok, leave plenty of time because Gyeongbokgung Palace is huge. It's huge. That's gonna take you like another hour at least. And then if you go to Changdeokgung, it's even bigger because it's not only is it a palace, but it's a garden, a secret garden. So that's probably gonna be a couple more hours. And then you wanna go around Bukchon. So the first time I came here, I know I definitely didn't plan for enough time. Even the second time, I was like, oh, I'm gonna leave a bit more time. It's never enough time. There's so much to do here. So that's why I plan on coming here again. But yeah, I hope you also recognize that this Bukchon Hanok village, this area is gonna be great too. And it just keeps getting better, guys. I gotta say, even with the situation now, a lot of the businesses aren't open and stuff. As you can see, like, they've sort of gone out of business. But I think there's been way more development here since the last time I came a couple of years ago. So it's only just a matter of time before they just keep developing this place. It's one of the must come to places. And I believe now I am back at the subway station. Yes, and this should be Anguk Station. Oh, I am so right. Alright, so that's it, guys. Definitely check out the video that I'll be making, which is on BTS K-pop Jimin guy's birthday. And I'm gonna keep it real. I'm an old ajashi. I don't really like modern K-pop. Yeah, I'm not really into the guys wearing lipsticks and stuff, but I'm gonna see what the hype is all about with somebody who does like them, knows about them. And best of all, it's not just gonna be about him, but I'm gonna be walking around Hongdae and showing you guys that area and what happens during his birthday, and showing you interesting scenes of K-pop culture here in Korea. So stay tuned for that. It's definitely going to be released this month. I don't know if I'll release it before or after this one, but it'll be released this month. And it shall be interesting. Also, lots of other walks that I'm releasing. I edited like 6 of them. It's just a matter of time before I release it. But if you have other neighborhoods in Korea that you're interested in me covering, because you want some information before you come out here, planning your trips, you want info, etc., let me know, and I'll try to make time to do that, and then get together with somebody who is knowledgeable in that area as well to come along with me. So, yep, live, travel Asia, guys, and hope to see you guys soon. Subscribe, comment, like, it really helps. But you also get something back, because if you comment and let me know what you want, I'll give you what you want. Toodaloo. Bye.